They talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness. They talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness. They talking all of this madness.
What's up, everybody? You are watching, you are listening to the Matt Madness Network live on YouTube. I'm your host tonight, Aaron Lloyd. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Yes. Thank you. I'm joined with my guy, Mr. 30 for 30. X2 Fly, Eric and Vicky. How you doing, man?
X2 Drive. 30 days dry.
There. We are almost there. We are close to midnight, so about an hour and 15 minutes away.
Man,
you are free.
Who would have thought? Not me. But speaking of people that have been dry, I just because after the intro, shout out to the Lowdown, Donovan Lloyd, because 8+ years later, and that song still bangs.
Oh, it does. It does. I be dancing like I'm in the gym.
Did we go the full first year without that song?
No, it was the first couple months.
It was
like some chainsaw.
Yeah.
Like that.
All right, so it's 9+ years then. Shout out to Donovan.
Yeah, and then like when I finally like, granted it's a template, but when I put the template together, I was like, oh, this shit it's even harder. And then like the Eagle one I made is even more crazy. I was like, oh, okay, like this shit goes hard. But anyway, yeah, as always, guys, subscribe on all podcast platforms. Make sure to turn on your post notifications, like and comment, and subscribe to our channel. And I'm super proud of my guy right here. Not to make him sound like an alcoholic, he's not, but you'll understand. You guys get what I'm talking about.
It's been the gimmick since day one on the show.
That's day one-ish. So in that 30 days, how do you feel after 30 days? That's the most important. How do you feel?
I mean, overall the same. It's funny. Anytime I talk to somebody about it, I feel like I may come off like negative. Honestly, I'm like, I feel tired. I've been a night owl my entire life. Once I hit my 30, I went from being up till 2 to 3 a.m. every single day to all right, midnight. When I hit 33, I started getting that 12:30, 1 o'clock back here and there. But man, these past 30 days, more times than not, 10 o'clock, 10:30, I'm tired. Now, obviously, there was a lot of different regimens going on in these past 30 days that made me feel that way. Overall, though, I'm happy with the results. Basically, I wanted to hot shot a 30-day kind of like a diet workout lifestyle while also cutting out alcohol. And I figured cutting that out for 30 days, I get some fast results. And I did. So just going to continue what I was doing while having drinking and, cutting out some other things. But
so you back to being a baddie? You back?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Especially today after I got.
I know. Look at that. Ratings and shot up.
This is the only place you're going to see the hair on the body. Everywhere else,
ratings and shot up. All right. So, what did you watch anything this week? Because we had a little heated discussion over the weekend, and I did some of my homework.
Man, why am I feel like I'm forgetting something I watched. I watched a lot. Well, homework's throwing me off. I watched Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
And I watched NXT, not live. I have watched Dynamite, which Fyter Fest is on as we're recording. It's a 4-hour special, so I seen the first 2 hours. I feel like there's something else I watched, and I'm forgetting it. But what have you watched?
So over the weekend, it kind of seems like you've been drinking because you forgot the conversation we had over the weekend. I rewatched the first 6 episodes of season 1 of Entourage.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. I was keeping it obviously wrestling related.
Yeah. So, well, it kind of is.
I probably watched 5 episodes of Chicago PD over the weekend. I also saw finished season 5 again of The Wire, and Entourage season 3 the first 5 episodes.
Well, I'm bringing it up because it was somewhat wrestling related because in, I believe, episode 2 at Jessica Alba's house, there's a Candice Michelle sighting. So somewhat wrestling. There's a wrestler in it. Quick cameo, like right when they walk into the party, she's one of the girls. I think she's in pink whatever. It's just a quick shot. So like when I was watching, I was like, oh, I think that's Candice Michelle. So I rewound it.
Wow. Okay.
It, in fact, was Candice Michelle. So yeah, I am 6 episodes into season 1. I got 2 more to go to finish out the season. Definitely enjoying it because I remember right before COVID was when I picked it up, and after that I just fell off. But
I love that you caught a cameo, and it's your second time watching it ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen every episode 30 plus times probably, and I caught a cameo. I guess it's late season 2, which I don't know if you've ever watched Chicago PD, but one of the main cast members' father was a cop as well. And he played a producer in Entourage or a studio head. And I'm watching, and I've seen this scene a million times, but since I've been rewatching Chicago, like, it's Ruzek's dad. And, it was pretty funny because both those shows, one of my coworkers watches religiously. And I had to point out to him, I was like, yo, guess the cameo I just saw. And I've seen the episode a million times. He's like, he's like, I can't put that together either. So Candice Michelle, I may need to go re-see that.
Yeah, it's legit a second. It's legit a second. And me and you both talked about this. We both watched Dom and Liv go sneaker shopping. Dom and Liv just destroying the entire roster. Loved it.
In character, kayfabe was still alive.
Loved it. Just like his dad. And something I wanted to bring up. The chemistry between him and Liv, like even like over the weekend, there was a Netflix event, and they always send Dom and Liv to the red carpets for these red carpet events, and even then, they're money. So I was thinking to myself, better combination, Liv and Dom or Eddie and China?
Liv and Dom,
because Eddie and China never even kiss.
Let's look at it. We're in June. We're 10 months in of this storyline. I think it's already outlasted the length of Eddie and China, actually.
Yeah, Eddie and China didn't last. In our minds, it did.
Yeah,
but it only lasted like 4 months, realistically. But the chemistry was off the chart. But like Dom and Liv, they take it to a whole other level. But I really did enjoy the sneaker shopping in character. Liv's been on sneaker shopping a couple of times herself. Dom dropping 9 racks. Probably kayfabe, but dropped 9 racks nonetheless. I definitely did enjoy that. Watching.
Could have been hit. Maybe it was his dad's card.
Eddie probably did leave him a lot of money.
I'm certain.
All right. And something else I've been kind of like into recently. So as you know, your boy is getting hitched sometime next year. So Angel, like, she keeps like asking me like, what do I want to like come out to? And like I always say, Real Ninjas by Shine as a joke. And I was like, dude, like I honestly don't know. So like basically one night she kept
Young Buck, Shorty on a ride.
That was my other one. So basically she keeps like one night she just kept asking me, and like we were going through like stuff or whatever. So I kind of got curious. I kind of went down the rabbit hole of going through like guys coming in. Like I know we all have seen like the infamous Roman one with the guy had the whole wedding party and they came out, threw up the ones or whatever, had the belt, and even he had like a small amount of pyro. But this one that I'm about to play, this might be the best one I've ever seen. This is hands down the best one. There's a couple of nitpicks, but they're dumb nitpicks. Like I wish he like did the kicks and stuff, but I know that's not happening in these tight ass suits we be wearing. But I kind of want to show this off because this is actually really good. One second. about that one?
I mean, one, it was a fire. Two, I was surprised it was something I haven't seen. Three,
that's the reason I want to bring it up.
Like, who the fuck's he gonna spear? He's gonna spear his father-in-law?
That's one reason I brought it up, because I've never seen this until like I went down that rabbit hole, and I know for a fact if I haven't seen it, you probably haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I gotta bring this up because this was actually really cool. But salute to that brother, because that was excellent. It really was.
Shout out to the Mad Madness Wrestling Podcast playing a Goldberg tribute.
Yeah. That was really well done. It really was. Now, one thing. Now, for me, what should I do?
1, 2. Is this on?
I see. I thought about that, and or I thought about doing his the game theme, the Motorhead version, but I was like, if I do it, I got to do the water, the spit.
Oh, you got,
I got to like. I'll have to start like practicing now.
I mean, you've been practicing your whole life for this.
It's been very long. I haven't done my.
I can spit that water decent.
I have not done that since my schoolyard federation. I had jokingly posted the Batista version. You know, the Batista coming out with the white turtleneck. I posted that myself personally with that caption, but Angel was like, "Would you do this?" I'm like, "Actually, I wouldn't, because in my mind, that's how I enter the gym on a day I don't have to work. That's exactly how I walk into the gym. Between that and Roman Reigns' team is exactly how I enter the gym. That is perfect. I hope you guys are watching on YouTube. That is perfect.
That is so good. So, I mean, summertime, I'm doing this. See, if I'm drinking beer outside, probably by the time I get to that 5th or 6th beer, I'm gonna waste a little bit. But February last year, modeling our buddy CJ's
that's a CJ
future WrestleMania shirt. This is at the center in Westchester on the basketball court, spitting up red stripe. Love it.
That's awesome. So, but I did want to bring that up because I thought that was incredible. But salute to that brother for doing an excellent job, and I hope he had a great wedding day. All right, so we are going to preview Money in the Bank, but there was a couple things I want to talk about. This is the only AEW thing that I'm going to bring up this week, unless you have something else. But we finally got an interaction between Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm. And I personally
your homework was to watch that.
Yes, I thought it was an excellent segment. I really did. I thought it was worth it. I thought it was worth the wait, because these two haven't crossed paths at all in Mercedes' time in AEW, and Toni Storm says that. You haven't crossed my path. We haven't crossed paths yet. So we got the answers off the rip from that. And they talked about they building this up, because I think this might even be the first time, that they even they're going one-on-one, because in WWE, if they went one-on-one, it was pretty much a throwaway. But I don't think they even had that.
I don't think they did.
I know they teamed up at Survivor Series and had a couple of
5-on-5.
It was a 5-on-5, and like Toni Storm, she had like a thing with Charlotte that Sasha was hyping her up.
I could be wrong, but I feel like Toni Storm of the Horsewoman, I think she only faced Charlotte in a one-on-one match.
I think so too, because she had a bit of a strange time on the main roster, because after the Charlotte thing, she's out for the most part. But I thought this promo was excellent. I thought it did an excellent job building up these two and why they haven't touched, and the importance of it for Mercedes and Toni Storm saying that she only needs that one belt. I thought they did an amazing job, and I think this should main event. I'm not sure. I've not watched AEW much in the last few months, but if I had to put my money on it, I think this should main event. And I think Mercedes has done a great job. I think she's kind of come back down to earth a little bit. I don't see as much Mercedes hate as we saw when she debuted last year. I think a lot of the nonsense is done. I think she kind of like found herself within the company. The stuff with Camille, that was a flop. That didn't work out. We all know the Britt Baker feud for most people was disappointing. And I think one thing that kind of like reeled people back in was the fun feud that she had with Harley Cameron, with Minnie Monet, and things like that. So
plus those matches delivered.
That too. Yeah. The match is delivered too. I still have not watched the match with Athena that you were hyping up before we were recording. I remember that.
Look, night. I'll tell you what. And I loved Sasha Banks, but just the whole mystique with this character since she's been in AEW, I've not been a fan. I don't remember a single match. I remember the Britt Baker match being lack thereof. It wasn't what we hoped for. Besides that, any of her matches, I either didn't care to watch, I didn't pay attention, I fast forward, I didn't enjoy it. But that match with Athena, that was what, a month and a half ago. I'm going to be talking about that at the end of the year when it comes to match of the year.
Yeah, I think she's come back and found herself, because I think she's been really, like, the matches weren't the problem. It was the character work. It was just like, okay, you're doing a little too much. But I think she's come back now that everything's going. The things that they tried, they didn't work. They kind of went back to the basics. And I said, I think the Harley Cameron stuff really brought fun out of her. Even like the tag team, like I think they had a tag team match on Collision or something, and Harley's has Minnie Monet that she's singing the song, and you can see Mercedes just like she's kind of like bop going along with it, but she's not. She's trying to show some fun, trying to show some personality a little bit.
So the one thing, and I don't want to knock the roster for it, but it's just been one of the things since Mercedes been there, and especially since she's been there. Well, never mind, her first match, she won the TBS title. There really hasn't been someone where you're like, they're gonna probably beat her for the belt. I haven't felt that way one time. So they haven't built no one up to make you think she could potentially lose the championship. Then maybe Harley Cameron, just because it was in her hometown, that feel good, she was getting the buzz, she was getting over. So now Toni's been enjoyable from day one of her signing in AEW. And then once she turned this timeless character, she's been on fire. She's arguably been carrying the company in some ways, not just the women's division, the whole damn company. Everything she's done has been must see. So when you get these two pillars, and the first time we're going to get, the world champion versus the mid-card champion, have the TBS champion versus the women's champion, it's going to be must see. It's a big deal. And it's, my early prediction is Toni Storm's going to be the first person to beat Mercedes in a one-on-one match in AEW.
Yeah, at this point, I'm with you on that. I agree. And since AEW's been around, the whole belt collector thing has, it's not special anymore. I'm sure you remember the iconic picture of Ultimo Dragon in the wrestling books.
Yeah.
In the 90s, you would see that picture of him holding the belts. But the whole belt player thing has been overdone, especially since AEW's been around, because all the belts and all the relationships, etc. But this right here, I'm fine with, because they're putting the importance of Mercedes being all these other companies' champions, and then the one belt that she doesn't have is what Toni has, and she's after that. So Mercedes is carrying all those titles around, giving them some kind of value, and now they're not. Go ahead.
My minor disagreement with that is I do feel like now again, I feel like those belts, or Kenny did more for those belts when Kenny had them all, and then it didn't necessarily help the company, but he was on those shows on AEW defending AAA's belts, TNA's 2 belts at once, defending the AEW title. FTR, when they had the 3 tag titles, they were out there, they would defend the AAA, the Ring of Honor, the New Japan. Mercedes, at the time, I'm like, okay, she's a TBS champion, and she's got this New Japan belt. And then the AAA and what, I don't even know the other belt. I'm a belt mark. I don't even know the 4th belt she has. So she lost New Japan's belt. She had 3 belts for a week, and then now she's back to 4 belts because she has the Owen Hart belt.
Yeah, maybe I should have rephrased what I said. So basically, her having all those belts, it kind of means more to the story instead of just having.
Especially because of Toni's line. Toni's line was dope, like you mentioned.
Exactly, because Kenny and whoever the hell, they just walk around with the belts. Mercedes is making it look like, look, I need that. So I think this is going to be excellent. I'm looking forward to it. And I've not said that in a long time about anything about AEW. And Toni Storm is the one thing that Tony Khan hasn't done wrong. So I believe in this. I'm all in on this, no pun intended. And I'm looking forward to it as well, because those two got very, very close last time.
Quack, quack.
I foresee myself, and it'll be the first time in 2 years that I buy an AEW pay-per-view. I see myself buying it, or I'll be somewhere that's playing it. But, you know, I've streamed a lot of them. Shout out to Prep. Over the past 2 years, I went to 1 or 2 viewing parties at Suplex. But yeah, this All In should be big. I mean, personally, and I don't got a lot to go into on AEW, but I do look forward to. I guess Hangman is supposed to be the man. I'm like I mentioned last week. I'm happy he won the Owen. He's going to be the one to challenge Moxley, and Moxley, with his worst AEW championship reign thus far, it's needed to come to an end for some time. And if Hanger's the man to do it, we've loved Hangman since day one, so I'm looking forward to it.
I forgot Mox was even champion.
Well, it's because he won the belt in October, and after he won it, it's been sitting in a briefcase since.
Okay, so that explains all the renders of him without the belt.
Yeah. So, like, there's that issue, and then the beginning of Fyter Fest, well, at the beginning of Fyter Fest, Kenny's celebrating because at the end of Dynamite, he retained his AEW International Championship in a 4-way. One thing that was like real annoying to me when, you know, the last pay-per-view, they had that Anarchy in the arena match. Well, all right, you got Kenny, you got Moxley on one side with the heels, and he's got the world title. And then you got on the babyface side, you got some of the guys from the Ops. And so, okay, so the trios titles aren't going to be defended. And then Kenny's the Mid-Atlantic champion, so his title's not defended. I'm like, you know, that's 3 belts right there. It's not going to be defended for the night. And then there's been the rumor that, and I'm guessing this will happen All In because Okada came and confronted him. Obviously, too many mid-card titles, 3 of them. I'm guessing they're going to unify the Continental and the International Championship. So pretty cool. We can make the Intercontinental.
that damn Tony Khan. Speaking of Tony Khan and something he did right, and rumors were going around for months. Mariah, she even stated that she was on vacation, guys, relax. And I guess she wasn't capping because she was on vacation, and she in vacation officially over last night on Tuesday. So we have the debut of, as of now, she's still Mariah May in NXT.
Man, I love that girl. I love that character. She has not done a single thing wrong. I don't know about all the Storm stuff, but since her debut in Jacksonville, she's not done one thing wrong. And I'll tell you what, I liked Ricky Starks way longer than I liked her. I loved him, saw his indie stuff, saw him debut in NWA, saw him won the national title, saw it go vacant. He shows up TNT Open Challenge. Love the guy. Ricky Saints, name change, don't love it, but I can live with it. Mariah May should be Mariah May forever. That name is awesome. She's built a strong character. I'll argue this too about her. And it's funny because she's arguably, I brought up because I loved, and I haven't rewatched it. I do want to rewatch like the media scrum after Double or Nothing because I want to see like more Hangman talking with that Owen belt. He made a claim about, like, he came out with the championship last week. Mariah May and that heel moment when she won the championship and she gets the belt, Tony comes to celebrate with her and like that turns heel. I arguably think she's done more for that Owen championship, that tournament, than anyone else. I think it's the greatest moment in that tournament's history, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's probably one of the biggest turns, and maybe not just AEW history, because it was immediate. There was no like hesitation. It's like you knew it was
just like that. You didn't think it was gonna be right then.
Yeah, no doubt. And the thing about Mariah May is, it's interesting because, you know, like if you follow him on IG, the Wrestling Classic, on his feed every other day was probably something of Mariah May, and then it's like, okay, the buzz behind, we all know her face. So when we see she's going to AEW, we saw her work in Japan a bit. When we see she signed with AEW, it's like, oh, she got her break, and then she goes on AEW and absolutely knocks it out the park.
You know, it's wild that I think I saw on his page today that I had no idea about. see if this is right here handy. So obviously, I think she debuted in 21 in AEW.
Oh, on an episode of Dark.
I'm sure that's probably where she did. Most people do. This don't be way off. Well, apparently pre-COVID, I'm sure she probably was wrestling, but obviously it was independence or, internationally.
Because the thing about Mariah May in that short time, in that feud with Toni Storm, that's the best thing AEW's ever done. It really was. Well, it was told perfect.
Apparently during COVID, she was or pre-COVID, 2019 or something, she was a WWE shop influencer. I looked at the picture and I was like, why do I kind of recognize this?
Yeah, because I do remember seeing that. I do remember seeing him post that today. But like I said, Mariah May, I think her feud with Toni Storm was probably the best thing AEW's ever done, the best story they ever told. And the matches were fantastic. We'll talk about the match that they had at the end of the year 100% because that match was awesome. And we didn't get to do a Maddie's last year, but Mariah May, she was my breakout of the year. She was not my women's star of the year. That would have went to Roxy because after the Toni Storm stuff, we didn't really have much to go off of with Mariah May. But I'm looking forward to seeing her in NXT. I thought she debuted in a good way. I think the segment was a little rushed because JC was cooking, and by the way, she looks amazing with that title on her waist. But I think like all the entrances, I don't know if they're showing time, but everybody just kept coming out, and then you panned to Mariah May. And I thought it was fantastic. I'm looking forward to what she does in NXT. Because like in that short amount of time, me, myself, and a bunch of others, I was super impressed. It became a fan instantly.
Tell you what, I wish I recalled this better, but last week I remember like thinking about NXT and like, a lot of the stuff with the crossover. And when, like I mentioned, I was going to sleep and I was like, just downstairs, Stephanie Vicaire, the entrance starts, the match starts. I was like, she's going over, she's retaining, it doesn't matter. Go to sleep, wake up, and see it on the ground. I'm like, you're kidding me. I see how it happens. It's like, okay, cool, this makes sense. But I was surprised. I was like, NXT you really got to see. And I've been thinking about all this TNA crossover stuff. I really got to do a better job watching it. Well, I forgot the YouTube TV account or the living room to set the recording for it. And I was upstairs watching Entourage, and I'm sitting there, and I open Instagram, and I see Mariah debuted. I was like, oh, my God. So I tried flipping, and it didn't have the recording set. So I pulled it up on my phone, which I had NXT recorded on, restarted the episode. Episode fire. I thought it was so cool. They had all the stuff of the LFG guys. They had the Evolve, some people from the roster, involved from Evolve. And then not just that, they also had them at least doing backstage promos talking about like, you see all those girls challenging for that belt. Which one of you guys are going to step up for mine for the, women's Evolve championship? And then again, as a Mariah fan, like seeing, like, I'm like, man, like, oh, she's going to be the first person coming out. I don't know that first girl that came out through the crowd, like challenging JC, but then they go to everyone at the stage and they're all names. And I'm like, man, then by the time like Jada came out, then Lash Legend, she didn't even get her music. I was like, she didn't get her music. They're probably getting it ready for Mariah. Then there's like, the thing, it hits. And I'm like, but I'm waiting. They never say the name. I'm like, they're doing it to us again. Hopefully they play me and they're like, they show that, I don't know. They cannot tell you the name and then you get it. But I feel like Ethan Page, they gave us the name right away. They did it with Lexus King. They did it with Ricky Saints. And I just feel like I'm screwed.
Well, you just talked about that. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I got to do a better job of watching NXT. I'm telling you, I'm going on 2-3 years of me never caring to really watch that show live. And that 2-hour show they put on yesterday was better than the 2.5-hour show I watched the day before.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that for a second because I think it's pretty unanimous when Vince got his hand on NXT and turned it 2.0 and said that we're not signing no more indie guys. Everybody pretty much was out for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody kind of like got turned off because, as I always say, the people don't like change. But the thing is, you have to adapt or perish, as a wise guy would say. So for me, Mike, you want to talk about this. So what are your thoughts on the state of NXT? You just kind of gave a few thoughts, but what else you got to say about it?
I mean, the storyline with Ethan Page going forward with, the North American title, it looks right on him. It was so cool seeing, obviously we got this interpromotional championship match coming this weekend where he's going to defend against Laredo King, who's repping AAA, but he's on the TNA roster. You got Javon Evans and then Ray Phoenix from SmackDown. Like, that's real cool and it's exciting. And you got someone from the main roster, you got somebody from other promotions all challenging for this belt. It's doing what, you and I have always touted, how that belt, like, you were a fan of it from its birth. I wasn't, but quickly after the first 3 champions and the matches that were happening, I'm like, it doesn't really matter what that belt looks like because everyone's making it important. And that's continuing and still happening. Where, like, I kind of mentioned with Kenny as international champion, like, I love Dominic Mysterio. The other day I thought about it for a second. I'm like, why the hell can't I think of who the Intercontinental Champion is? It slipped my mind. But, like, in NXT, you can't really forget it. They vocalize it. They show it. They're on the show every week. I don't know all the players, but besides the tag division, it seemed like everyone's kind of firing on all cylinders, and I like that. Yeah.
So when they swapped to NXT 2.0, it wasn't the dark black and yellow NXT that we all knew and loved. It got colorful and things like that. But immediately they said they went all in with this homegrown talent. Limited indie guys, I'll say that. And for the first episode, like, I was intrigued, like, they threw Braun Breaker and Mone and guys, they threw them right into the wall, they threw them right into the ocean right away. It takes a while because you have to, like, learn to like these characters. You don't know these people. But I'll say this right now. We know him as Burn, y'all know him as HBK, but that man is cooking down there. Whatever you consider fine dining, whether you like steak, he's giving you steak 48. Del Fresco, me personally, I prefer Pietro's, but if you like soul food, he's giving you the best soul food. He is cooking down there because no matter what, the story, like, you might not like somebody, but you can kind of gravitate to what they're doing. And I talk about that women's division all the time. That women's division, they're losing Jordan Grace, they're losing Stephanie Becerra, but that talent that came out, a lot of that is homegrown talent, and they're all excellent. Kalani Jordan and Sol Ruka put on another fantastic match at Battleground a couple weekends ago. JC Jane, I've been telling her for years. I'm a big fan of Fallon Henley. Jada Parker is improving. Sol Ruka, the W North American champion, she's improving. There is a bunch of revolving talent in that company. I'm not sure if you're a fan of the D'Angelo family, but their stories are really intriguing. Whether you like them as champions or not, or whatever, it's something to grasp onto. It's really a well-developed show. And he is out there cooking with what he has. And I've said this all the time. Just because you don't watch it doesn't mean it's not good.
I'm going to say that to you the next time AEW is hitting again. Who knows when it
I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I'll watch it. And I hate to be negative, if you want to say this negative. R-Truth's contract is not going to renew. Like, R-Truth, like, one of them people that, like, you make a job for him. Like, no matter how stupid it sounds, like he could be like the president of air, of people that people breathe. He deserves a job, like to be a lifer there. He did not get released, guys. His contract is not getting renewed, along with Carlito. And I love how the internet was so upset that the Judgment Day bunker got raided there's no 2K or TV anymore, which I thought was funny. But
the other thing I like, his bowl where his apple was kept in, they had that tipped upside down with the Grim Reaper logo on it.
Yeah, Dom was able to sneak a Carlito shirt in on the segment on Raw. But as you guys know, when it comes to these releases, I know like somebody like R-Truth, we all know and love, but the Patriots released Tom Brady. They let him walk. So everybody's expendable. If you guys can understand that analogy. But I'll just say R-Truth, a national treasure. We could do a top 10 list of just the thing, not even matches, just the moments and laughs that he has given us. And many times he made people break characters. I'm really, really sad to see R-Truth go, because like even like the stuff with Mello recently was fantastic. He's like, I'm him. No, you're Carmelo. It's just fantastic. But go ahead.
I mean, it's still wild. I mean, in reverse order, like it's just wild that he had a match. He had Jeff Cobb's debut.
Yeah.
Or I guess his second match on SmackDown, his first match in ring gear, has that on SmackDown. And then what? He helps Jimmy later in the night and he's just gone. Just gone. Yeah, week before he challenges for the WWE title. And like, cool, fictitiously, like if you want to like extend that 17 reign a little farther, like I loved it. Obviously, just a dream fantasy. Somebody said, like, you know, if Cody didn't beat Roman at 40, it's like, oh, if he can wait and beat him at SummerSlam, Roman will break Hogan's record. It's another thing to get away from. Well, I saw somebody give a theory. Well, if R-Truth could win the title and like Cena could just win it back, he'll be at 18 reigns. And that way R-Truth will then be the oldest WWE champion of all time, erasing Vince McMahon.
It's funny because I was watching when he came out on SmackDown to face Jeff Cobb. I refuse to call him JC Mateo. So I was watching that, and I was telling Angel, like, you know how old he is? Because I was like, this dude's like is like in his almost mid 50s. And he looks great. He looks better than most people. Young, like even people in their 30s.
Shout out to your boy Ricochet, still in the Super Bowl hat.
That's one thing I'll say I like about him. And we all know the other reason. But I'm starting to see R-Truth go, and it's also interesting now because like WWE, like they're not wrong for letting people's contracts expire. They're not wrong, guys. If you're a sport, I just gave the analogy about Tom Brady. If you're a sports fan, this stuff happens to your favorite players all the time. But there's speculation now that the Miz contract is up at the end of the month, at the end of June or July, I believe, and he may be gone because he's wiped everything about WWE off of his socials. And he was somebody that I thought about too, because during the Triple H era, he's had his moments, but he has not had the moments like he had when Vince was around. So thoughts on the Miz potentially leaving as well?
Again, who the hell ever thought I'd say? I mean, man, it doesn't. It's one of those things. You got to think about everything he does outside of the ring. Like, he's an ambassador for the company. He can do the Make-A-Wish. He can go do press. He can. I mean, he's a WWE guy. Somebody like you said would think a WWE lifer. However, yes, has his WWE career been long? Yeah, but the guy he ain't that old. Like, for that reason, you don't got to think he's got to stop. He's one of the guys, kind of like, I know there's got to be more examples than just Dolph Ziggler, but like somebody that could go to NXT that's been on the main roster, that like he could go do a storyline with the world title, like the NXT world title, and like, you know, stay busy down there.
Yeah, there's nothing that Miz can't do. There's not. He's been fantastic, and he's showed that he could do any and everything, especially for the company. Like him in NXT would be great, because I think they could still use a little bit of star power here and there. And like I said, I like the fact that guys go back and forth between NXT, and it's not really much of a downgrade. It's kind of like all one cohesive universe.
So just on the Triple H and R-Truth note, I was going to make this point, but also if the Miz leaves, that Walmart 3-pack is going to be really, really funny in hindsight.
Well, if anybody's in the belts and it hits clearance, there's your belts.
I don't see it hitting clearance just because it might be two specific wrestlers last elites.
True, but yeah, if Miz is gone, like he had a hell of a run. But like I said, like it's the nature of the business. Everybody's not going to stay on the same team forever. It's not. Either they're going to retire or the team's going to let you go. So I guess right now we'll get into Money in the Bank. It's only a 4-match card, which I'm very excited about. And we're going to start off with the WIC title. We're going to have Lyra Valkyria defending against Becky Lynch. Now, what are your thoughts on – because I did an episode by myself about this. What are your thoughts on the whole Becky Hogan situation?
I didn't agree with your take.
Okay, go ahead.
Look, whether it's the – I don't know. There's not enough modern wrestlers that we're getting like the heat all, spewed out on what goes on backstage. Like we hear all the time about what was going on from the mid 80s to the early 2000s with Hogan. However, you just got to think. I mean, unfortunately, Rhea's getting the reputation now where like she's always in the world title, like storyline. Becky is always, always, always attached to a title. She also has now done – kind of like in a Cena fashion, but the opposite. Like hasn't she been women's tag champion twice, and then she turned on her partner?
No, Trish turned on her.
Trish turned on her. Okay, so same storyline flip. She did it, but also to me as like I'm a bigger Bayley fan. So like also I don't know if did you listen to Bayley's Chris Van Vliet podcast?
No, but if you're talking about Bayley kind of hinting towards something happening.
So keep in mind,
I did bring that up in the Becky clip that I made.
So the podcast was recorded before WrestleMania aired, and Bayley was somewhat a little down during the episode, this and that, and like Chris brought up, like, hey, like you're a little underrated or maybe underappreciated, this and that, and then he was saying how he's like fans, there's a lot of uproar on like how Bayley deserves more. Bayley like more respect, and like she's like, oh man, well when this comes out, like they're really gonna feel some type of way. And he's like, I can't say anymore. But then keep in mind, it releases the Tuesday after Mania, where she's storyline jumped on Saturday, replaced on Sunday by Becky Lynch. I mean, obviously, she challenged Lyra for the IC title prior to the women's tag tournament. Then she's thrusted as her partner. They go all the way. I'm expecting that story to be fulfilled at Mania. It's not. We get Becky shoehorned in this, and then we have a 24-hour title reign, and then she attacks her. It was kind of like overly predictable to me, not enjoyable. But, they were also doing like it's always attached to a title, and then it's kind of she's getting those promos at her, kind of like what she was giving towards Charlotte years back. So
I'll say this, and you said this about Lyra's title reign. When Chelsea was WUS champion, you said that Lyra was impersonating an IC champion because essentially she wasn't doing anything. And Becky, with this whole thing with Becky's done her job and brought something out of Lyra. Lyra might not be the best on the mic.
Her promos have gotten better.
Yeah, Lyra has been excellent this entire thing with Becky, and Becky's gotten a lot out of her. So
I won't take that away from Becky. Becky's made me a fan of her. She's definitely done her job in that regards.
Yeah, so Becky has done her job. Lyra's shown the personality that we needed instead of just coming out and doing the entrance, having a title match and going home. She's done way more than that with this whole Becky thing, and it's made the WIC title feel way more important than what it was. And also, Lyra did defeat Becky at Backlash, and she's honing in the fact that she's beaten Becky twice at this point.
Yeah. So from my prediction, which I'm assuming you're going, I see the title finally changing, and no knock to Zelina. Like Chelsea was a phenomenal U.S. champion, and like it's cool Zelina got her first singles run, but you got Chelsea who is doing the Lord's work with that U.S. title. She loses it. Cool, Zelina gets that mark. Now, mind you, Lyra, yeah, she wasn't doing nothing. This is the feud, and obviously, I think her winning that first title defense of Becky help elevate not just her but the title. But you get a star like Becky with that women's IC title, it should help elevate it.
Yeah, and also another thing about Becky being inserted into this over Bayley, like I said, I'm not sure if Lyra felt more comfortable, but this is what needed to be done for that title, even though it came at the expense of Bayley. It shouldn't have came at the you could have done this without.
Hopefully Becky,
over Bayley.
at the end of Money in the Bank, then sure, hopefully Bayley's the next feud up, and then she goes on to be the third IC champion.
Yeah, because like I said, you could have done this, gotten here without screwing over Bayley.
100%.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Becky to win the WSC title, and I think we'll get the triple threat at Evolution.
Would that be spicy?
I think that's where we're probably going to end up going. So we're going to stay in the women's division. Women's Money in the Bank ladder match: Stephanie Vaquer, Alexa Bliss, Roxy.
Stephanie Vaquer in her second match of the day.
Naomi, Rhea Ripley, and Julia. Thoughts?
Fire. This never mind. Well, one of these 6 has won the Money in the Bank in the past. Half of them have been a world champion. I mean, you got 3 coming fresh up from NXT, 3 former NXT women's champions. Love Rhea to death. I said this the other day to somebody. Love Rhea. Who doesn't? I'm almost ecstatic with anyone winning but her. Not that it would be wrong if she did, but it's one of those few where you're there's no wrong answer.
So for me, I was, before the whole Judgment thing happened, I was all in on Roxy, thinking Roxy was going to win this. But now the fact that she's involved with the Judgment Day, I don't think so, because the stuff with Finn and Liv and Dom, and I don't think the Money in the Bank is going to be needed to get in that situation. The person I think is actually going to win this, I think it's Naomi. I think
that's who I
thought Naomi
should win it the most.
Yeah, I thought Naomi's segment on SmackDown with Bianca was fantastic.
So at my core, there's something that really wants me to want Alexa to win it, just because I feel like she's having a real weird year. She comes back after a few years. She's in the Rumble. Then she has the qualifying for the Elimination Chamber match, and that disappears. Qualifies for Money in the Bank, and then assuming the Money in the Bank match. It's literally gimmick match, qualify to be in the next gimmick match. Gimmick match, qualify to be in the next gimmick match. It's been her routine.
Yeah, and she's had a thing with Charlotte, and I'm not sure where that's actually going to go. But like I said, everybody's kind of intertwined, and I think Julia, she's going to end up beating Zelina Vega for the WUS title, and Rhea, she may still have that. Rhea, she's going to still find her way around the title. But I think Naomi is the only answer to go here because her heel run's been fantastic. So that promo with Bianca talking
going
about
old
her family,
school theory,
her mom.
what heel needs it the best. I agree.
Yeah, I think she's been fantastic. Getting personal with Bianca and just having that over Bianca and Jay that she is Miss Money in the Bank. I'm gonna go with Naomi. Who are you going with?
I'm with you on that. I'm going Naomi as well.
All right. Next up, we have the men's Money in the Bank. We got LA Knight, Penta, Andrade, Solo Sikoa, Seth, and El Grande Americano.
Again, fire. Half of these guys, Seth, LA, and Andrade, have been in these matches. Seth's the only one to win it, and he's also the only former world champion. I know it seems like he's kind of set to win it. I feel like there's Solo gets his just due. But obviously I'd like to see either my luchadors win it, any of the 3.
I personally I don't think Seth's winning. Sami Zayn's been excellent on Raw, especially on Monday night, when he talked about if Seth wins, it's going to be hell, basically. And the fact that Seth's been interfering in the matches, Seth basically has this entire plan laid out and things like that. And also, Seth's already been intertwined with Jey Uso on top of that. So I think there's a way for Seth to get to the title without even winning Money in the Bank. Because you got to believe Punk or Sammy is not letting Seth win this match after what he did this past Monday Night on Raw. So for me, that leaves to me LA Knight. He doesn't really have a lot going on right now. And I think that he'll be a good person to carry around the Money in the Bank briefcase. And I think I think he's going to be the perfect person for it because he has nothing really going on right now. So that's my pick is LA Knight.
Just like the women's one, like Seth's the only person I don't want to win.
You said Seth's the only person you want to win?
Do not want.
Oh, okay. Seth.
I'd be obviously always been an Andrade guy. If he were to win, be thrilled. Penta, my guy. I can't see him winning, but if he does, but also like I could see him gimmicking like the Money in the Bank. He wouldn't really have to talk too much with it. He just hold it up. Solo, I feel like is the dark horse to win this.
I think he is a dark horse, but he's so deep in with Jacob and Jeff Cobb that I don't think that this is going to be needed. LA Knight, I think, is the perfect pick for this.
I like it.
All right, and then we have the main event. Uncle Teddy tag team special. John Cena, Logan Paul, Cody, and Jey Uso. Thoughts and who you got?
Just still perplexed by these nonstop tag matches the past couple of years for Money in the Bank main events, but I think I don't know. I was happy Cody got a cheer when he came out of Saturday night main event. I could see the heel. I feel like the heels are going to win. I feel like Cena's not going to be taking no losses. Logan's been pinned too much lately. No titles are on the line. Maybe Gunther screws Jay. I'm not sure exactly how it goes by, but I do expect it to be entertaining and obviously some tomfoolery.
What have your thoughts been on the John Cena heel run? Because when we've been here, you weren't. I don't think you've given your thoughts on anything about John Cena.
Very, very consistent of what WWE unfortunately has been doing wrong the majority of this year. There's too much open-ended crap with a lot of these storylines. Like you brought up Sami Zayn mentioning like Seth, if Seth is a world champion, like it's not going to be good. Last time he was world champion, it was a babyface. It was great. He's the one that made that world title matter. What has him, and obviously he's a heel, obviously he's got running a heel faction, but why did Bronson Reed join them? They were feuding before he was hurt. There's not a lot of answers, or like, okay, like one of the few answers is, yeah, we understand why Logan and Cena, like Cena was a team with Logan because he's not good for the wrestling business. But why is Travis Scott helping him? Why is there a wrestler that weighs, or a rapper that weighs about as much as John Cena's left thigh, costing Cody to lose the WWE championship? Where's The Rock? Where's like all this stuff that's not answered? Overall, I thought it's been decent. We've gotten some great moments out of it. And he's not giving us exactly what we wanted. So it's giving us stuff to, have disdain towards. But it's, I don't know. It's just, it's probably one of the things booked better, but there's still definitely too much loose ends to love it.
Yeah, it's been lackluster. A lot of people, like granted, I don't, there's elements that I do like we talked about when he first turned heel. We thought he was going to come out as Jacob Toretto, but just coming out with the black Tron with the white letters, even his nameplates like that, having a title back because he's showing his ass essentially to everybody else. Elements to it I do like. He's not going to change because you got changed because I'm not changing for you guys. Or whatever I don't dress like you guys. You guys dress like me. So I did appreciate that aspect of it, but it's been lackluster at most. It's fun. It's fun that he did face R-Truth. R-Truth got to go out facing his childhood hero. So his childhood dream, the boyhood dream came true for R-Truth. But there's just so much left to be desired with this. Even with the whole Randy Orton thing, one and done, and the way it ended, even though we do love R-Truth, I don't think R-Truth should have been involved. At this moment in time, it's been lackluster.
Honestly, that match was fucking awesome.
I mean, as far as like the build, it was just
kept
like
Orton.
build.
I enjoyed the match. Like, oh, you're saying the build? Yeah,
the build because like WrestleMania and Backlash were a few, like 2.5, 3 weeks apart, And after the match, like that's all we pretty much got was that the build between WrestleMania and Backlash between those two. Not much legs, not a 1 or 2 time pay-per-view thing or anything like that. So I'm gonna go with Cena and Logan Paul as well too, because I think Gunther does have that match on Monday Night Raw, and I think that he's going to end up possibly trying to take out Jey Uso and soften him up a little bit. So I am going to go with the heels.
I am nervous that he's getting softened up just so it makes sense for him to drop it, because obviously a lot of action on Monday, then, you know, he's going to be in this tag match, and then the following Monday with defending the title. I don't know. Best of luck to my guy.
Yeah, so that's it for Money in the Bank. Do you have anything else for me?
I hope I get around to watching Worlds Collide. I don't think I'll be able to watch it live, but I am excited about that cross promotion that WWE is doing, and the fact that we have an international promotion mixing with actually main roster guys. It's kind of vintage WWE, where it's like, it's in Mexico. This isn't the Saudi Arabia time zone, and we're getting this during the day. To me, it just kind of makes it seem like it doesn't matter that much. I am interested. Chad Gable is challenging for the AAA World Title, and if he were to win it, there's a lot of good stuff for that. I know it's not a WWE title, but it is his first singles title. And then we could be getting a AAA title shown on Monday Night Raw, which, as much as people are going to want to complain, it may not. It doesn't help AAA. It does, because there's millions and millions of people that never heard of AAA, and they're going to get to see their championship. So
I'm going to boo myself, because my dumb ass, when I saw that WWE bought AAA, I'm like, they bought a fucking insurance company. So I'm going to boo myself for this. And then I saw everybody saying, "Oh, AAA," my dumb ass. So listen, I just booed myself. Boo myself. So I mean, that's me taking accountability. So y'all know I'm trash. But anything else?
With that, that's it.
All right, guys. So as always, turn your post notifications, leave a comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And we're also available on all audio platforms and Ringside Collectibles. Use code MMASSIVE, 10% off your order. My bestie has 18 minutes to celebrate. And I'm Aloy Lloyd. That's X2 Flyer Tribiki. We'll see you guys soon.
Got him now, put him down right now, hit him with the palm handle. Tuning up the band, y'all don't understand. Fist of Superman, it's a Summer Slam. Here we go again. Fans marking man, I hate my balls. Shut the Vince McMahon, it ain't safe to land off the cell. Fans love it, ain't hard to tell. Talking madness, awesome. Well, what I'm cooking, man, y'all all can smell.